Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. And today we bring you the pump up as Tottenham take on Roma and look to put another trophy in the cabinet this preseason as we take them on in the iTech Cup at the Sammy of Four Stadium. Of course, hopefully we can win the iTech Cup after winning the Watertill Cup. At the end of the day, I've been starved that long. A trophy is a trophy and beggars cannot be choosers. As you can see, we are joined by co-host Jack, Kuva, and Mr. Brady. Start with Jack. How are you keeping, brother?
Doing well, Dave. Hopefully, we can actually start collecting these trophies, Dave, and we can start sending in our measurements, for all these trophies. This is how, you stencil in Tottenham Hotspur. These are, the specific font that we want. We're going for Times New Roman. We want the, probably get tailored suits, for all the trophies that we'll be getting this season, Dave. So might as well start with the I Cup here.
Yeah, I might even have time to run down and get a suit measured up. Kuva, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, doing well here. Really looking forward to this one. Hoping there's going to be a bit of a spillover onto the pitch of the animosity between the managers, really. Something spicy, bit aggressive, very competitive match. Just what we need to build up to the season.
Yeah, exactly. And it is going to be spicy. For those who maybe don't know, when Conte took over from Jose, there was a war of words, and it ended with Conte calling Jose a little man. And ever since, they just do not like each other. So it's definitely going to be feisty and passionate.
They're both not especially tall, which is very funny, for him to even say.
They'll probably be both squaring up in the technical area. But, I mean, the Godfather, Philip, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm beginning to wonder it's going to be a football match or fight of the week. It's going to get tasty tonight. This is going to be this is the preseason ends here, and let's hope with no injuries at the end of it, because there's going to be tackles flying tonight.
100%. That's the biggest thing, to get out unscathed. Now, we will be touching on a lot of things heading into this game. I just want to welcome you friendly faces into the chat, and we've got Moondog. Big up, my man. Yeah, I presume you're on your phone, my man. Big up, Moondog. I hope you're keeping well, brother. Any bets on for today, let us know. We've got Mark this afternoon. Dave and Jack, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Mark, my man. Good to see you in the building. Theo, big thumbs up, brother. And basically, whenever Theo puts the thumbs up, that means you have to smash the thumbs up on the stream and give it a like. Big up, Theo. We've got Faz Radfar. Big up, lads. Can't wait for the new season to start and doing the business this season. Come on, you Spurs. I can't wait either, my man. I really cannot wait. And interesting enough, last night I spent a lot kind of listening to what other people think of our transfer window outside of the Spurs community, and they all think we've had a very, very good window, and we could end up closing the gap on Liverpool and City. So we'll wait and see. But big up, Faz. It's definitely exciting. The Hot Spurs, as I've been saying, 3-1 the whole time, and I'm sticking with it. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. Welsh guys says, big up, lads. Love the game day streams. Let's have a statement win today. Spurs are putting teams and pundits on notice. We mean business. And yeah, Philip politely reminded me that Arsenal thumped Sevilla today 6-0. So honestly, it would be nice to outdo them and beat Roma 7-0 just to kind of rub it in their faces for the week. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And anybody, if you haven't, check out my Twitter page. There was a little clip that I found, and I retweeted it, and it's basically from the All or Nothing from Arsenal next week. And honestly, I fell asleep after 30 seconds. It's only a minute long. Fell asleep after 30 seconds, and someone had to wake me up. It was that boring. But big up. We've also got Christopher Van Wyk. He says, come on, you Spurs. Let's get this W. Big up, my man. Good to see you in the building. Adrian Strux, good afternoon. All. Come on, you Spurs.
Good to see you, Adrian.
Big up, Adrian. Slim Boy Tubbs, love the oxymoron there. He says, big up, lads. Buzzing for the new season. Great work, as always. Come on, you Spurs. Absolute legend. Brian C, I hope your calf is healing well, my man. He's sitting at home. Tore his calf on Astro. I hope you're doing well, my man. Big up David Jack and the Flat Cap Army. Big up, Brian.
Big up, Brian.
We've got Pierre Oji. He says, good morning, everyone. Come on, you Spurs. Big up. I apologize if I butchered that, but it sounds good.
Pierogi, Dave. Pierogi.
Well, there you are. Jack's even better than me, my man. Total Spurs TV says, hello. What's up, people? Big up, my man. We've also got Anthony White. Good to see you in the building. Coach TPM, great to see you. Bobby K, hopefully you and the two boys are doing good, my man. Great to have you in the house.
And Foggy Foam, Dave. Foggy Foam, he's right below Bobby K there, and he's celebrating 2 months as a Flat Cap member. And he's saying, come on, you Spurs, from SA. I'm not sure what he means by SA. It could be San Antonio. Could be somewhere in the UK. I'm not sure. Maybe, South Africa, actually. Spot on, Dave. That could be spot on guess there. But there you are, Foggy Foam. I appreciate it, my man. Celebrating 2 months, Dave. Big up.
I've got to say, I absolutely love this comment. It's just so brutal and simple and perfect.
Yeah, he conveys what we all feel about them. So big up, Kev Williams.
Tell us how you really feel, Kev.
Big up. No, don't hold back, Kev. Don't hold back, my man.
Right.
Big up Foggy Foam as well. Great to see you. When are you going to come on and have a chat with myself and Jack? Fan shows every Monday and Friday, my man. Paul Gregory says some people have terrible intros, but this is a banger of a tune. Love it, Irish. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, my man. Really appreciate the kind words. We've got Christoph Cavalet says Arse's smashed Sevilla 6-0. Yeah, look, it is what it is. Look, let them. They can go into the season all overhyped, and then Patrick Vieira and the Eagles will bring them down to life, so that'll be brilliant. Dark Song G21 says, Jose, watch out. We are a very different team now. Well, look, we will actually be having a conversation, and maybe you guys can start getting your answers in the chat, and we'll touch on it a little bit later. But I have a question in there, and it's like, has Conte basically come in here and improved on what Jose has done, or is he his own man sort of thing? I'll actually get the question because I don't do it justice there. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, do they connect together? Yeah, do they connect together? Do they build off of each other's work? Yeah.
Yeah, at Tottenham, is Conte picking up the pieces or finishing Jose's job? So that's basically the question. So everybody, maybe you start getting your answers in there, and we can get Kuva and Philip. Their minds are already racing. You can see it.
Let us know, Dark Sunday.
Brother, really appreciate the support. And then
also Dave, sorry, I don't like to interrupt you, but Young Putty, celebrating 2 months just below Dark Sun G super chat. Young Putty celebrating 2 months, and he's saying, "Come on, you Spurs, bless up the Irish Hotspur and Jack." Big up, Young Putty. Good to see you, my man.
Big up, Young Putty. One of the best names in the business as well, my man. Hopefully we can get a nice win today and all celebrate together and maybe, have a tipple or two for the iTech trophy that's coming our way. Big yourself up, my man. And then we've got Davinson, the defender, new YouTube member. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. But you are going to have to come on a fan show either Monday or Friday, and we're going to have a chat about this Davinson name in the name of your YouTube name, my man. We're going to have to sort that one out. But big yourself up and really appreciate the support, brother. Now, guys, we are going to crack into it. But everybody, before we do, I would be so grateful if you could smash that like button. If you are new, smash that subscribe button as well. Let's see how close to 8K we can push this before the season starts. And feel free at any time to get your super chats in with your talking points, your answers, or anything like that. And basically what it does, it highlights your comment in the chat and we'll get straight to it. You can skip the chat by doing that, and we'll all have a good conversation on it. But look, I suppose we will start getting into it, guys. Of course, kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. tonight. And make sure you join, or 7:15. Sorry, how dare it? People be 15 minutes in, give it out to me. 7:15, and we will be kicking off the watch along at 6:45. So if everyone wants to join us back here tonight, feel free. And of course, the game is on Spurs Play. But for you guys out in America and Canada, you're lucky. You can get it on ESPN today, apparently. So enjoy that. Enjoy that. But look, we'll start with the Godfather. Philip, how excited are you heading into today's game? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to the last week's game against Rangers because of the England versus Scotland rivalry thing, But this one is the real deal because we're up against a former manager who is going to be, let's just say, wants to got a point to prove that we were wrong in dismissing him so close to the Carabao Cup final. It's going to be a tasty match. It really is. Jose's going to do one of two things. He's going to go out and tell his team to go and beat us convincingly, or he's going to put 10 men behind the ball and tell us to come on, see what you can do. I wouldn't like to guess which one he's going to do, but I think it's going to be the handshake at the start of the match is going to be very interesting. That's what the cameras should be on, to see whether there actually is one. Because
Philip,
these two boys don't like each other.
I know. I mean, would you almost prefer if they didn't shake hands, before the game? A nice bit of spice for it.
Yeah, I think so. I know I shouldn't, but yes, I would like it.
Just walk onto the field separate directions.
It would set the tone, It would be, it'd be like Dave. You remember this is one for the Irish contingent. Henry Shefflin and Brian Cody shaking hands after the Galway Kilkenny match. That was the most unsincere handshake I've ever seen in my life. So I can see another one of those coming up tonight.
I would definitely set the tone for the fixture for sure. That would be absolutely unbelievable. Kuva, Tottenham will, of course, take on Roma in their final pre-season friendly ahead of the campaign, which starts next Saturday. What do you want to actually see from this Tottenham team today that will show you we are ready for the new campaign?
I think, I'll start off what we just said there about the handshakes. And I think, for me, start off with a handshake, end with a handshake. Always begin and end like a gentleman, but then brutally dismiss the opponent in the middle. For me, I want to see full aggression. I want to see passion. I want to see excitement. Treat it as a European trophy, proper European trophy, because this is the point where you now need to be testing your players and getting them really match ready. There's no more time left now. Just a little bit of time on the training pitch, and then we are into it next week. So let's have a really hard-fought game. I'm expecting a 1-0 either way. It's going to be a cagey game. I don't think either manager is going to want to lose this one. It's going to be full-on, full-blooded tackles, tactical battle going on. I hate to say it, but I've got this sneaky feeling Jose might just pull one over on us, because it's exactly the sort of thing. It's exactly the sort of thing he'd do. Nobody really fancies it. We're looking at all our exciting new signings, and he's a wily old cat, isn't he? He's going to have a few tricks up his sleeve. Perhaps it gets onto the pitch as well. So kind of fascinating in that respect. I'm not actually too worried about the result from that point of view, but I do want it treated as though it's a proper game, and I think we will see that.
100%. And look, I wanted to treat, like you said, in fact, I actually do want him to treat it like it's a bit of a European trophy. And I know some people are fans out there are going to say, "Oh, Dave, you're embarrassing." Look, I know I am, and I don't mind. But at the end of the day, what I will say is if you get into the habit pre-season, hopefully then, you get into the habit of wanting that and lifting them then during the season, which would be ideal, and come the end of the season. So it's just about getting in the habit. We will get Jack in now. Just want to welcome a few more people. We've got Colavius, Stefan Blois, On Your Bike Scott, Joseph Monaghan, Michael Anderson, Peter McCormick, big yourself up, big up Derek Hutchinson, Bobby Spurs 92, Chris Hagenbar, Claude Murphy, R Green 216. Great to see you with that lovely badge beside your name. Same as Carl Higgins, Dermot as well. Big yourself up. Dan THFC, Ian Carter, Mary W, Leslie.
Mary.
I feel bad missing anyone else. Simon Davies, Mark, Chris. Big yourself up. Bob Coys, big yourself up. Lovely badge beside your name.
Big up.
And one. We've got Peter, big yourself up. Daigle as well, big up. Lovely badge beside his name as well. Says good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, wherever you are. I hope you are well and have a great day. Come on, you Spurs. This is the final curtain call before the serious business starts. Absolutely love that.
Final dress rehearsal.
Absolutely love that. Big yourself up. ATX7 Gaming as well. Big up to you as well. I feel bad missing people out. You guys have got to start calling in early so I can get you all in at the start. But big up, everyone. But look, Jack, I mean, Kuva alluded to what he wants to see from this Tottenham team today. That'll show him that we're ready for Southampton next week. What do you want to see? And bear in mind, it's going to be a feisty game.
It is going to be a feisty game, and likely probably the closest to a real game. At least I would anticipate. I don't really know why you would hold back, too much, right before going into the regular season. I think you probably would try to, in a lot of scenarios, really act like it is, pretty much, the first game of the season, especially when, you have two coaches where there is a bit of pride on the line. There is a bit of egos on the line as well. I think there is going to be probably a bit more kind of real game sort of kind of intensity to this than usual. It's going to be interesting, though, with the fact that both of these teams, are, a bit defensive. Both managers really do enjoy, kind of being resolute, in the back. So it could end up being, a really cagey, sort of affair with a lot of, flying tackles. I'm not too sure if it's going to be kind of a back and forth sort of basketball Bundesliga, kind of game where, just both teams are just attacking each other at will. I could see this being very cagey as well as being, very, very feisty as well. On top of that, I'm just looking forward to maybe Spurs, maybe showing that they can buff out some of the mistakes that they've made, in the preseason, Dave. And who knows, maybe get a clean sheet that we've been looking for. I kind of agree with you. There has been a few shaky moments in the defense. I feel like now that we're going into this Roma game 1 week before Southampton, it'd be nice to pull out of here with a clean sheet. That'd be my bare minimum.
No, it really wouldn't. Look, I actually want to touch on
not my bare minimum.
Team.
I'd say that would be something I'd be delighted with if we came out with a clean sheet today.
Yeah, look, it gives me confidence as well. And that's actually something I want to hold back. I do want to touch on because it's something that's bugged me. But Philip, I mean, do you think this preseason has been a success?
Yeah, it has been a success on a number of fronts. One, it's never easy to bed in 6 new players. And okay, it hasn't really been achieved. Like last match against Rangers, none of the new players started. I think. Oh no, was it the second? Was it the Seville? Anyway, whichever game it was, I forget. None of them started, but all 6 of them finished. So it's tonight. I don't think there's going to be as much chopping and changing because, as I keep saying, the team that starts tonight will be my team to start next Saturday. But maybe Antonio has different ideas to that. Yeah, it's important that we again, as Kuva said, the result isn't the be all and end all tonight. The performance is more important than the result because you get no points for a friendly. We might get another trophy that nobody's heard the name of before, but that's just neither here nor there. So no, it's been a success so far on a commercial point of view in Thailand or in Korea. Yeah, getting out the 65,000 people at both the matches. That's unheard of. It's now being carried forward. Okay. They couldn't do much in Glasgow, really. It's the enemy territory and all that. But apparently the team has been doing a lot of PR work in Israel as well, going out to meet the kids at soccer schools and stuff. Yeah. Seen videos of Luke Dyer and Hugo Lloris and them going out to that. So the good it's a PR offensive really to get Spurs' name out there and get more people to support them. So from that point of view, it's been a very good success. And result, we're unbeaten so far. So what's to dislike it?
Absolutely love that, and you're right. Look, I'm actually glad to see us actually combine the two because at the end of the day, we need the commercial stuff to help fund transfer windows and wages and everything else. So it's been a success on all fronts, like you said. The fact that we have done a lot commercially and we've gone out to the right places, and we've also, done a lot like help, and I believe it was Palestinian and Israeli kids as well combined that they were doing it with. So fair play, and as well on the pitch, like you said, unbeaten, which is the main thing, which is absolutely brilliant. Although, what was the stat you were telling us before we started, Philip?
What's that? The pre-season 2008 to 2009, the season just after we won the Carabao Cup, our last trophy. God. Anyway, we started off, I think it was 5 matches unbeaten, including a 5-0 win over Roma. But we only got 2 points from the first 8 matches of the actual season, which led to Harry Redknapp coming in place of Wande Ramos. So we don't want to get too carried away. A good pre-season doesn't really mean a lot, as Arsenal will no doubt find out next Friday when Crystal Palace get them.
I love that. And we're going to take Dark Sung G super chat now. And everybody, you might see me sipping on some Coke, but don't worry. I still do have my kidney stone, but it's Coke Zero. And Kuva recommended it to me, and I fact-checked it, and he's correct. I can't actually have this, my first fizzy in over 2 weeks now. But look, Dark Sun G says, the Gooners' new captain is a joke, but for us it's great. Odegaard, the 2021 January transfer, is the new captain. Laughing my ass off. Spurs were predicted in top 4 finish from articles I read. Shows how great a window we had. Look, the cheap cleaning product, Odegaard, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that this guy has, been given the captaincy. I mean, anyway, look. If he was,
I don't even think he's the captain for his own national team, Dave.
If I was in that club and he was captain, I wouldn't respect him. I'd walk straight out. It's like giving the armband to Harry Winks. It's just something you never, ever do. Like, he's not an inspiration. He's not a leader. But look, at the end of the day, fair play, because the season's only going to get worse from here on out. So, it's going to start next week with a hiding, and it's going to continue, especially with this guy as captain. So I actually don't mind them making them mistakes, So it's good for us. And as far as top 4 finish, I think it's a cert this year. I don't want to jinx it, but I do think top 4 is a cert. For me, I'm looking at a title challenge. I think we could definitely be in the mix around 24, 25 games. It's how we can handle the pressure and the running is what will determine, whether we stick it out or not. But it'll be very interesting, Dark Sung G. I mean, Jack, anything you want to say, Dark Sung G?
I stand corrected. Odegaard is, in fact, the captain of the Norwegian national team. I don't know. It just really shows, though, the levels of leadership that really exist. The fact that Højbjerg, isn't even a captain in our team. Like, there are people that would even get the captaincy ahead of Højbjerg just really shows, just the levels of leadership, the levels of experience that exist in this squad. Like, Højbjerg, Dave, it's like 3rd or 4th in line, like, almost to get, the
Harry Kane's not even captain.
Harry Kane's not even captain. Sonny's not even captain. Like, we have multiple players that are the captain of their national teams, and they're all like 2nd, 3rd, 4th in line, behind Hugo. Like, and we actually have plenty of candidates. In fact, it would almost be like a pretty, the CVs or the applications, for captain, of the Spurs team, Dave, would be pretty, fierce. It would be pretty, a tough decision. You'd be looking at some pretty quality players as well as some real leaders, where it just seems like maybe Odegaard was the only one that even submitted the application, Dark Sun G.
The cheap cleaning product. I mean, Kuva, do you want to have your say on this?
Well, it's typical Arsenal at the moment, isn't it? This is almost a continuation of the Wenger years. I mean, after Vieira, what do they do for captains after that? It's they're buying in some decent footballers. I think they'll score quite a lot of goals this season. But again, their captain's going to be somebody with a bit of footballing talent, but no real leadership quality for me. That's fine if you've got players in the team who are fighters or natural leaders by example. And I'll talk about when back in the 60s, we had Danny Blanchflower as captain. He was a great captain because you had the likes of Dave Mackay alongside him, who was the fighter. He was the grafter in the team, as well as being a great player. Who have Arsenal got of that style? You're looking at Granit Xhaka, and he's crap.
Well, I mean, he already threw the jersey on the ground, didn't he? So,
yeah, that's just the only one that seems to have any sort of fight in that team. As soon as they get in the big games, they're going to crumble. And all the pretty football will fall away, and those signings suddenly don't look that good. They wanted Basuma for a reason. We're better for having him for a reason. He's going to destroy them. So many of our players. We're just going to smash them all over the park. A lot of teams will.
I love that. And Philip, I see you're itching there to get in. Maybe do you want to have a jibe at Arsenal before we move on?
No, I want to have a jibe at my old mate Paul Merson. There's no comment that Jed Spence won't get any game time and the Spurs are not going to finish in the top four. Well, Mr. Merson, you're wrong on both counts there. But what I would like to do is if we could ban him, if we ban all mention of Paul Merson on this channel, because by quoting him, you're only encouraging him to say more crap. So, geez, the guy has got no more idea than my cat, and I haven't got a cat. It's just brutal. If Spurs were winning the league, if we were winning the league by 6 points with one game to go, he'd say Spurs won't win the league. That's how bad he is.
I love it. I love it.
Rants over.
His bonnet over some of these people. I love it. Big up Dark Sun G, brother. I really appreciate the support, my man. Hopefully you enjoyed our conversation on that. Brian C. Socrates says, lads, I can't remember looking forward to a preseason match or indeed a season with optimism and anticipation as much as this for a long time. Big up to all the panel. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, Philip, we'll let you in. What do you want to say to Brian? And you'll be going to the Leicester game with him as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, good man, Brian. Yeah, I mean, again, I think Brian is actually mirroring what a lot of us are actually thinking. We're really looking forward to this match and the season. I've never looked forward to a season which is optimism as I am at the moment, and I've got a lot of seasons under my belt. So yeah, fair dues to Brian. That's a great comment, and I think it mirrors what we're all thinking. And positivity is what we need now. Positivity. And it'll shine through. I love just another side thing. Did you see the video of the Brazilian boys ducking Son into the bucket of ice water?
Yeah,
I was going to say that. I've seen a lot of him hanging around with them, with the Brazilians this preseason. They have a good camaraderie, a good bond.
Well, a great camaraderie. I mean, that's great to see. It really is great. The team spirit seems to be spot on this season. And Conte is the man to nurture that and keep it going. We don't want cliques in the dressing room. We don't want egos. We don't want anyone thinking they're better than the next guy. We get that going right this season, and the sky is at the limit. Actually, there really is the limit.
100%. And I think you make a great point there. Like, there's none of this Welsh mafia, French mafia, it's absolutely ridiculous carry on. No divided dressing room. It does look like there's great camaraderie, great togetherness in that dressing room. And that will only yield about bringing results, where even if it's a game where you should be losing, they'll end up picking a draw and, a lot of wins hopefully this season. And look, not only that, we've had a very good window today. I think we've done a lot. I think we've done 80% of our work. I would like to do the last 20%. Yeah. We'll remain to see whether it'll get done or not. But we've had a good window to date, and we've got Conte in charge. Kane is firing. Son looks ready to go again for another Golden Boot run. I mean, there's plenty of optimism and plenty of excitement. And I mean, I genuinely believe we can definitely nick a trophy this year. It's definitely on the cards. If Conte can bring Chelsea from 10th to winning the league, why can't he bring us from 4th to winning the league, or even to getting us a trophy, my man? Big up, Brian C. Absolutely love that
Socrates.
comment. You're
Legend.
getting me pumped up, Brian. It's illegal. It's illegal before 7 p.m., my man. Haven't even had a beer and you're getting me
fired up. See you at
up.
the airport for the Leicester match, Brian.
Big up, Brian. Big up, my man. Absolute legend. Jack, Rangers manager came out and said that he was impressed by Spurs' fitness and intensity, that ex-Schooner Van Bronckhorst from our preseason game when we bet them to lift our first trophy of the season. Do you think Josie will also be surprised? While he may not admit it, will he be stunned by how this Spurs team looks compared to when he was there? Because as we know, he didn't get them to do any extra training. It was optional.
Exactly. That's why, exactly, Dave, you're spot on there. Where, Jose's, team, as much as we were probably tactically, set up in, very good ways, I feel like against teams to exploit them, we were probably the worst shaped team when it came to actual fitness, when it came to actual stamina. And it is going to be probably surprising to Jose because he expected, like you said, Dave, a lot of those players to do it on his own. He also just doesn't really seem to put a huge emphasis maybe on sort of fitness and, kind of being in the best possible shape that you can be, really anymore into his team. So I bet he will be surprised, considering it's just preseason, how good a shape these players already are. And I don't really feel like the Rangers manager, came out and said that, just to be complimentary, Dave. I feel like he actually came out and said that because they had beat the Bubble Blowers 3-1. They probably were going into, that game thinking that they could actually pull off, another result. Yeah. And they did kind of, get stunned. They played really hard. It looked like in that first 25 minutes, Rangers, they were really gunning for us in that first kind of half an hour, but they really couldn't outlast us. It felt like they did just sort of kind of tire out or just sort of kind of, I don't know, like tire themselves out at a certain stage where then we were just kind of able to just kind of blow right through them and be able to kind of almost get past them, get through their defense at sort of walking pace. So I think maybe Bronckhorst more or less said that as kind of an excuse for how they kind of crumbled apart in the end of that second half there, because they really didn't look like the same team, Rangers, as they did in the first half. So maybe he was just sort of kind of giving his players an excuse and kind of just saying, listen, fans, I know that we looked good against the Bubble Blowers, but the Spurs team is just a different animal.
Yeah, look, and I think the fitness is going to do us wonders coming into this season. I really do, and hopefully we get back to Kuva. Do you think actually with the fitness levels that Conte is instilled in this team since he's got here, and then more intently over the preseason, do you think we can get back to where we were under Poch, where we're out running teams, lasting the full 90 minutes, scoring a lot of late goals, because we scored 2 or 3 last season, which if we didn't score, we wouldn't have got Champions League. So do you expect to see more of that this season? And can we surpass the levels we were at Poch fitness-wise? And big up Donald, Spurs fans for 60 years.
Yeah, I think fitness is definitely a huge part of Conte's plan, and we will be back right up there. If we're not in the top 3 for running distances this season, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a real contrast in styles, isn't it, with management? Because Mourinho is all about the tactical prowess and picking your times, conserving your energy, and Conte is all about getting in people's faces and sticking it to the other team and really making them hate playing us. So it could be that's why I think it's going to be such a cagey game today. I can't see any goal avalanche or anything like that, although it would be nice to see it. It's really a tactical battle today. Our physicality and our work rate against Jose's ability to read a game and know when to sit back and just hold your shape, or when to punish a team. And he's been a master at that over the years, and Conte's been a master at what he does over the years.
On that sitting back, Doc Hoover, where we're on it, do you not think that it'll actually be a great test for Spurs in kind of a way? Because I'm sure Josie will let them have a go at some stage, but also sitting back. And we struggled last season against low block teams. Yeah. So it's a good indicator of where we're at, coming up, and how prepared we are coming up against these sort of teams now.
Absolutely. In a way, it would be bad if we scored too early, because we wouldn't then see that block that might encourage them more out of their shell. So, yeah, I do think it's a case of seeing what we got to unlock that sort of very pragmatic and defensive side of Mourinho's. Although his teams score goals, there's a fallacy about it that it's all defense, but there is the general perception of all of his teams as they're sound defensively. And if we can sort of penetrate that defence when they're in tortoise mode, then all the better for it. Perhaps it is then a chance to see what Perisic can do playing further forward, see what difference it makes bringing Richarlison on at half time or whatever. I'm assuming we're going to start with our front three from last season in Sonny, Kane, and Kulusevski. I'd imagine we see Richarlison at half time, perhaps even after an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
Just to see what difference they do bring and how much the game changes at that point. It's an intriguing one for me. So, although it is only a friendly, there's a lot you want to see from this game. There's a lot to try and take some encouragement for the rest of the season. And it's going to be better playing this game than sitting at home with a few of your new signings smashing Sevilla 6-0.
Yeah.
Because the easy game, Sevilla obviously weren't up for it. This one, I think, is going to be very highly contested.
No, 100%. It's. I can't wait. I'm getting buzzing for this. I am buzzing for this. THFC till I die. Big up Dermot. He says tonight is important for next Saturday. We had a great preseason, and the season ahead is very exciting. Can't wait for the double this season. Big up, guys. Please, everyone, like and subscribe. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Dermot, my man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, look, it's very important, my man, in terms of for next week. I mean, look, ideally, I think we all want to come out with a win to give us confidence going into the next game. Have no doubts in the players' mind. Hopefully, they'll be feeling confident and like machines. And look, who knows? I mean, I definitely think one trophy is on the card. I think a double is a big ask. But you never know, my man. You never know. But big up, Dermot. And everyone, check out THFC till I die as well. Big up, my man. We got Dark Sun G says the training video looks positive and great as always. It's great to not see the trio in the squad and training videos recently. No more weak mentality now. I mean, look,
Good
Philip,
point.
what do you want to say to Dark Sun G super chat here, especially about the mentality?
Yeah, I mean, we are now a physically strong, aggressive team that is going to bully an awful lot of teams this season. I mean, we were, in the past, we've had a soft centre. And again, I'll go back to that famous Alex Ferguson quote, lads, it's Tottenham.
Yeah.
Which sums it up. That has been consigned to the history book now. That will never be happened again, especially under Conte's reign. So, no, there's no more weak mentality. The training videos, okay, videos can always be doctored to make them look better than they are, but there seems to be a genuine affection and camaraderie between the players. And, it's hard to disguise that and make that up and fabricate it. So I think there is a genuine team spirit in that team. And if you look at down the spine of that team, you go to Reece, you've got Romero, you've got Betancourt, Højbjerg, and Bissouma, and Harry Kane up front. That's frightening power and size that we have in that team. And which we've never really had that before, I mean, small, diminutive players that wouldn't, that bounce off the defenders. That's not going to be the case anymore. So I can see a lot of teams leaving Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with a tail between their legs next season, having not only been beaten on the pitch, but physically beaten as well.
I'm beaten by Conte in the press conference like Arteta was before the game going into North London Derby last season.
That's no context for me. That's no context. Lego man is no contest for anybody like that.
I think having the physically strong big players doesn't always work. I remember under AVB when we played Brendan Rodgers Liverpool, we were far superior to them physically, and they just ripped us apart.
The quality of the players might have been as good though. The fact that
the quality with that strength is different, isn't it?
Yeah, you can have big boys haven't got a clue what to do with the ball. I think we've got guys that know what to do with the ball.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Jack, anything you want to say to Dark Sun G here, lad?
Yeah, something from before where, I think Dark Sun G or someone else mentioned that, Sonny is, kind of, getting along with all the, different kind of, you could say, kind of groups in the squad or different players in the squad. I kind of see Sonny as sort of kind of like, I don't know, Dave, maybe that guy that everybody just want to be friends with. He's almost kind of like the quarterback of the football team in high school. Everybody wants to, be Sonny's best friend by the looks of things. He just seems to be kind of the ambassador. If there are cliques at all, he sort of, maybe makes the cliques not even exist because he seems to be friends with everybody in the squad. Like everybody wants to hang out with Son, wants to sit next to him and, kind of the mess room or whatever it is, wants to have, their dressing box or, their locker next to him, and things like that. So I kind of like that part about Darkson, or like that part about Sonny Darkson, is that he seems to kind of just get along with everybody. Even like Papa Matasar, I noticed him even kind of like, messing around with him as well. He just makes everybody seem included. Everybody kind of seem, friendly in the squad. He makes nobody feel left out, which is exactly what we're looking for this season.
I think you're spot on there, Jack. Like when you look at a lot of the training videos and a lot of the videos that they put out during the week, Sonny has a good relationship with absolutely everybody, and he's definitely a key figure in that dressing room. 100%. I think, like you see, he's friends with nearly everybody there. I think I think he plays a massive part in that dressing room. Yeah. But look, Dark Sung G, I do think, look, the mentality's changing. Look, I said it from day one. I think it was going to change as soon as Conte walked in. And the fact that you're not seeing Ndombele, Winks, Lo Celso in any of the training videos is great. In fact, you shouldn't even have a spot in the dressing room anymore. They should be made come in when the whole first team is left and the under-18s are finished. All the underage groups, the women, when they're all finished, that's when they should be allowed in. Maybe at like 10 o'clock at night, you can open it up for half an hour, let them have a kickabout or something. Because that's what they deserve. We shouldn't be treating them. We shouldn't even give them use of our training ground anymore. Well, maybe Winks. Maybe that's a bit harsh because he hasn't done anything wrong. He's just crap. But the likes of Ronald McDonnell and Lo Celso, just tell them to come in at 10 o'clock at night and punish them. That's what I'd be doing. You want to take our money? Well, we're going to punish you. But the mentality is definitely changing. Look, you even look at that Aston Villa game last season where we got absolutely battered for half the game. Battered. We should have been out of sight, but we came out of that game with a victory. That's when I knew the mentality was definitely starting to change. And then when we battered Arsenal at home as well. So things are changing, my man. Big yourself up, Dark Sung G, brother. Really appreciate the support. We've got Colin Turner. Big up Colin Turner. And he says, I've been waiting since 1963 to win the league. I cannot wait.
Wow.
That's a long time. Wow. Honestly, if I get that old without winning a league, I don't even want to be around anymore. It's just because I know it's just been a life of pain. It's like, what's the point of being here if it's going to be that painful? I can't wait that long, Colin. I'm already 30 years in, my man. I can't do another 30. Big yourself up, my man.
Big up
Colin Turner. Moondog as well. Become a YouTube member. Big up, Moondog. When are you going to grace us with an appearance on the fan shows as well, my man? You're in all the chats. When are you going to come out from behind the name and come on and join us, brother? Big yourself up. And we'll take this from Gary Bloggs. Hello, boys. Hope you're all well. He says, do you think Don Fabio has gone out to just be there for the game or to do business, especially with the Zaniolo rumors? Would you want him in the team? In Conte, we trust. Yeah, look, for me, it's a hard one because I thought maybe he would have went out to Korea to kind of help with maybe trying to get Kunde over the line. That was nowhere near happening. So, look, maybe he's there trying to offload Ndombele or something like that. You never know. But he's definitely out there for something. I wouldn't say he's out there for no reason. But he's popular among the Spurs fan base. Me and Jack made him very, very popular, actually. So, people like him. Fans want to see him. It's almost like seeing Antonio Conte at this stage. So, he's probably been brought out there for good PR as well, my man. Big yourself up, Gary. Absolute legend. But we'll kick on. We'll keep moving this baby on. I'm enjoying this, guys. I got a big man smile on my face today. I can't even remember where we're at, so we're just going to go to my safety net, Jack, and then we'll work our way around to Cuba and back to Philip. Jack, Conte has eased the new signings into the Tottenham team during this preseason, but with this being our final warm-up game, should Conte go with his strongest options available or his strongest 11 available, especially for the first half?
Yeah, I would. At least players that he knows he's going to be using regularly, in the upcoming season. Doesn't exactly maybe need to be the first 11 players. Like, who knows? It could be a center midfield combination that might not exactly be, the most consistent one used. But it does need to be, players that are going to expect a lot of minutes, going into next season. So I agree with you, Dave. At least the first 45 minutes or the starting 11 needs to be pretty close to what we expect maybe the starting 11 to be, going into Southampton. I think it is probably, just safer just for the, just for the fans to, maybe have some sort of idea. Maybe it's a bit selfish, of an answer for me to want us to, go out with a, a team that's similar to Southampton, because I want to know, what maybe Conte's feeling like, is the right lineup to go with. Is Perisic really ready? Is Jet Spence, already, impressing him? These are kind of the questions that we have in mind. Is Basuma going to start right away? These are sort of things that we do have on our mind as Spurs fans. So, Dave, I would like him to start with the strongest lineup, because then we could have a pretty good idea as to what maybe we might see with Southampton. It's a bit of a selfish answer.
Maybe a follow-up question. out of the new signings, and we'll get Philip and Kuva's thoughts on this as well. What new signings do you actually think get into our best 11?
Perisic gets into our best 11. Basuma gets into our best 11. Could you make the case that Longley does? I'm not really sure yet. I think Ben Davies, has done a lot right. Where, Eric Diary, that's, we like to say on this channel, Dave, maybe, given a bit too much credit in certain things. At least Perisic and Basuma for now, Dave. That's what I would say. Perisic and Basuma.
Interesting. Kuva, I mean, what new signings do you think form our strongest 11?
Well, Perisic, no-brainer, isn't he? Great player. Basuma, definitely. He's the midfield destroyer we've been lacking. Longley, yeah, I think he's the kind of player we want to be taking a proper look at for being a number one choice this season. And I think Jed Spencer's got to start because we need him as soon as possible firing because, well, you know how big a fan I am of Emerson. I don't want to be sort of, third of the way through the season, and then we finally get to see like the likes of Spence or someone. We're just constantly hoping Emerson's trying to cross a ball. I'll just think he's terrible. But yeah, for me, that's the obvious ones. And Richarlison comes in as and when there's an opportunity. I think he's going to have to be a little bit more patient than some of the other ones, but he'll be ready as well. I've got no problem with that. I'm very optimistic about us improving on what we did last season. But as we've discussed on several of the transfer window shows, I just wish we'd got 2-3 more players in there to really push us that step further. Because
there's still time, Kuva. You never know.
There is. Got to believe. Because then I'm looking at Liverpool, Man City, thinking, why not? Let's get up to 90 points and see what happens. I don't think we're quite there yet, though.
Yeah. Defensively, I just think it might come to cost us in the crunch time. I do think we can mount a challenge for up till about 20-odd games, but I think then the defense will start to cost us, but we'll wait and see. But, Philip, do you agree with what Kuva said there? Basuma, Perisic, Longley, and Jed Spence?
Yeah, I think so. Richarlison isn't going to start because he's suspended for next week, so he'll probably come on the last 10 minutes today or something. And obviously Fraser Foster probably won't get a game either. Yeah, I would play them. If they're good enough to buy them, stick them in. Especially as we want our strongest team out there today as a precursor for next Saturday. No point playing a different 11 at the start tonight than a completely different one next week. There's got to be consistency from now on, and this is the chance now to get these guys playing together and get used to each other's style of play. And those 4 players I would start with.
And let me ask you, just on Jed Spence, Philip. Conte seems to trust Emerson this preseason. He's played a lot at right wing back. Do you think Jed Spence will get in ahead of Emerson, or do you think he still likes Emerson and Emerson will play?
I'd say he still likes Emerson, but I think he also likes Jed Spence, or else he wouldn't have bought him. So it's got to be a case of hoping that, like Emerson, probably up to now, hasn't had a huge amount of competition. Well, in his own mind, and maybe he's playing. I know Kuva doesn't like him. He's kind of lethargic in a lot of his play. I'd say Jed Spence coming along now has made him book up his ideas. So it'll be very interesting to see who he picks today. I think Spence deserves to be in the team, if only for that interception he made against Rangers last Saturday. He made the tackle back to save probably a goal. So, and he's the future. They spent 20 million on him, or they will spend 20 million on him. So, I mean, put him in. If he's good enough to be bought for that money, he's good enough to start today.
Interesting, Jack. And you didn't mention Jed Spence, Jack. What's going on? You do not agree with the two boys. You think Jed Spence would be behind Emerson?
I just feel like in the beginning of the season, I'm just not sure if Jed Spence, has hit the ground running, probably well enough in training. I guess we just don't know, Dave. We really don't know. We'll find out, soon enough. But he is more of as much as he was an early signing, it was like considering, our transfer window, he was our last signing or our most recent, sort of kind of signing. And I feel like he's had less time to kind of, bet in, especially when it comes to him coming into the Premier League, coming into the squad, coming into Conte's system as a right wing back. I'm just not sure if he's really going to be able to start the first game or two. I feel like Conte, even if he thinks Jed Spence probably is going to be better than the rest of the players, that are available, Southampton, and Chelsea, the first 2 games of the season, I just feel like he's not going to go with Jed Spence as, his starting, kind of fullback or, wing backs. I think he is going to go with Emerson. I have a feeling he'll go with Emerson because Emerson probably this whole summer has been working on that cross. I would imagine it's gotten incrementally better, maybe not loads better, but incrementally better. And then we do know that he offers a bit more defensive steel than the rest of, the wing backs. And perhaps Conte might really value that, especially with maybe Perisic. If Perisic starts, the first, kind of 2 games of the season, we'll have a more attacking wing back on one side, more defensive wing back, or at least defensively skilled wing back on the other. It kind of makes sense for him to start the first 2 games that way, then maybe move Jed Spence into the team after that.
Do you know what?
Jack, do you think there's a chance that he might also view it as this is the last chance to have some vaguely competitive match before the season starts, and that's why he might throw Spence in?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. To the original question, when it comes to, who we might actually see out there today, I'd like to see Jed Spence start. I would like to see Jed Spence start today and probably given more time than Emerson because I think we know what we're getting, at this stage, with Emerson. I think Emerson has shown a bit of improvement so far this preseason, at least, with some of the crosses that he's put in. I think he's put in better crosses this preseason than Sessegnon has. So I think that sort of says something. So if you ask me, I think Emerson is going to be the starting wing back for the first 2 games, but I'd love to see Jed Spence get like 70 minutes today.
Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh about Emerson's crossing.
Do you know what? For me,
that little Ronaldinho bit where he's no.
Him having a picture with Ronaldinho.
Laugh at it as you will. He's put in better crosses this preseason than Sessegnon.
What I will say, look, for me, I think Emerson will start. I think Emerson will start Southampton. I think he'll start Chelsea. But I do think Jed Spence will end up getting in the team ahead of him. Yeah. I think if Jed Spence can keep his head down, work hard, it's proven. Matt Doherty done it when he wasn't fancied and end up getting game time and took it. If Jed Spence can do that, Jed Spence, I think, will come in and be a mainstay in this team. And I'm a big believer in Jed Spence. He's had a massive grind just to be able to get to Tottenham Hotspur all the way throughout the youth career and everything else, all the way up through a massive grind. If he can continue that grind, it will serve him well at Tottenham Hotspur. Look, I think it'll actually do Emerson the world of good if Spence can come in here and hit the ground running, because hopefully then it'll push Emerson to maybe work harder, get better, and maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing. But I do think Emerson will start the season, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Jed Spence somewhere come into the frame. And just quickly, Jack, Mark says here, a possible exchange of Purvis, Estupiñán and Ndombele has come out of the recent meeting. Now, look, I know this one was banded about earlier on, in the transfer window. I'm not sure whether they're just regurgitating because we're out in Israel and we have nothing else to do. I'm not sure, but Jack Estupiñán, are you a fan?
He's a left back. He's a left back for Villarreal. I just don't really see this one happening just because we brought in Perisic and, Conte seems to have a lot of faith in Sessegnon. And if we keep Doherty around, Doherty technically can also sort of fill in as a left wing back, despite us not liking him as a left wing back. He sort of does fill in there. So I just don't see it happening. What I will say, though, Purvis Estupiñán, fantastic name.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice name. Big up, Mark. Hopefully that gets here.
I actually don't like him too much, too. Like, at least I've only seen him play a few times, but he looked a bit clunky from when I saw him, or at least not so great on the ball from when I watched him play. He looked good defensively, but not very good on the ball. Yeah,
he's just not really much of an attacking threat, is he?
Yeah, he actually kind of is similar to Emerson. He's a bit similar. I can't see why. Just a left-sided Emerson, a left-sided version.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't really start for Villarreal either, does he?
He sort of does. He's seen as like the defensive choice for that team. They used to have another guy, this like tall Spanish guy, who I forget his name, but they have like an attacking wing back, and then they have him as a defensive kind of one.
I hope I'm thinking of the right one as well. He's got like the sort of mohawk down the middle. Yeah.
I've only watched him twice now. I remember watching him against United in that Europa League, and then I watched him in the Champions League as well once. Faz Radfar says fans should back Spurs winning the league, and he means it. Look, I'll be honest, I'll be putting a sneaky tenner on it. I mean, look, it's a tenner at the end of the day. And look, there's an outside chance if Leicester can do it. Why can't Tottenham under Antonio Conte? Like I said, took Chelsea from 10th to 1st. He closed the gap with Inter Milan on Juventus out in the Serie A. So I would not write him off. Plus, We've brought in the set piece coach. That'll close some points. The signings we've made, that'll close some points as well. So exciting, Fazzy. Very exciting.
Don't be so negative, Dave. £5 on the quadruple, 2001.
I don't know about the quadruple. I'm definitely losing my fiver, but with the tenner, I feel like I have hope putting it on the league title. We'll wait and see. But look, I go into every season believing you should have the quadruple in your sights until you're knocked out of each cup as you go along.
Absolutely.
Moondog says, not football related, but F my computer. Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I'm not really tech savvy either. Jack knows. Jack has problems with me explaining things to me sometimes. I get your pain. Honestly, when my computer's running slow, I feel like getting a sledgehammer out, to be honest with you. I don't have time for this technological stuff. I'm just one of them people stuck in the old days. So I'm with you, Moondog. Big up,
Moondog, it might have been that you placed too many moonboats kind of bets this week, and so the computer just started to crash. You just need to unplug it, plug it back in. Maybe the computer will, reboot itself, because I think all the moonboats bets, made it crash.
Yeah,
perhaps he does that dire bet, and then the computer pops up with, "Are you sure?"
Computer says no. Dark Zone G says 2 more in a successful window, January window. You never know. No, look, I still think to date we've had a successful window. But look, I think 2 more. On me, 1 centre back. I do not care. I will not give up on this. And I've been vindicated. We have not kept a clean sheet all pre-season, So look, I definitely think if we could get 2 more in, it's the cream on top of the window, to be honest with you, Dark Zone G. And it tops it off nicely. And then the January window, look, it puts us in a position where you're not really under too much pressure. You might have to do with 1 piece of business, but you're not looking around seeing how many positions you can fill. Like we were last January, right wing back. We want to try and get centre back. We end up getting it, and we were looking for centre midfield, the right winger. We end up getting in 2. So hopefully that will have a knock-on effect, and we'll be good going into the January window. Dark Zone G, big yourself up, and big up Paul Greaves, my man. Big yourself up. Not son of Jimmy Greaves, though, I don't think. But big up, Paul, my man. Big yourself up. What an absolute legend. But look, Philip, we'll get into it. Let's talk about this defence, because it's something I spoke about all last season, all pre-season, and all summer long. And any question anyone's asked me, what do you want? I wanted a centre-back in here. Are you concerned that this team has not kept a clean sheet all pre-season?
Yeah, but not overly concerned. I mean, pre-season is a matter of getting fit and getting used to the new players and getting physically fit. So no, I wouldn't be overly concerned. I mean, I'd be more concerned. I'm more concerned about keeping a clean sheet next Saturday. That's the primary objective. Okay, someone tonight would be absolutely wonderful, but I do think with 31 days left of the transfer window now, and I honestly do think we will have another centre half in by the end of that window. It might not come in just as quickly as we'd like, because with most of the businesses already done, those players are getting the bed in. This guy might have to wait a little bit longer. I still haven't given up on Bastoni. I think there's something going on in the background there that may still work in our favour, and he would be a fantastic acquisition for us. And I still think we're going to go for a creative midfielder as well. I see Newcastle have stuck a 40 million bid in for Maddison, and it's been rejected. So if we want Maddison, we want to get in there now. But maybe this guy from Inter or from Roma is the one that we're really interested in. And Maddison's on the smoke screen. But yeah, I mean, I would be a little bit concerned. But we keep a clean sheet tonight with a back 3 of what I think will be Longley, Romero, and Dyer. Then, that's probably going to be the 3 that starts next week, with hopefully a replacement to come in during the month of August.
Yeah, look, I really do hope we get someone into challenge at centre back, and with Roden going out and potentially Tanganga as well, I definitely think there's chance for that to happen as well. So, we got to keep our eyes on that transfer window. But for me, it's definitely a must. I mean, I've been saying it for some time. Kuva, am I making too much of a big drama out of this centre-back position, or do you think it's a position, or maybe the only sort of area that we haven't really done the right sort of strengthening?
I think you're absolutely spot on, David. It's one of the areas of the pitch we're weakest at. We have no commanding centre-back at the moment other than Romero, and he's not great in the air. That's where we stand at the moment. We're desperate for some height and strength and somebody that's aerially dominant in there. Ideally, we'd replace Hugo with somebody like that as well. Perhaps that's the idea with Fraser Forster being in. for certain games for his height. But yeah, I think we're missing out big time. If somebody with the height of a Badiashile, even somebody like that would do the trick. Skriniar's an out-and-out defender. He'd do a brilliant job replacing Dyer.
Good for that.
We so many we've been linked with and just haven't gone for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So yeah, it's a big concern for me. This is why I'm reluctant to say it's a great transfer window, because if we do all these other good signings, and we have made some good signings, no doubt about it, but if we don't fix the bits that are still broken in the ship, we're not going to be catching the likes of Liverpool, which is what we want to be aiming at. So for me, I'd easily take in a couple more centre backs, but one's probably more realistic at the moment. Another wing back, a bit more cover. Well, I'd hope a wing back on each side, so we've got plenty of cover in the important positions. Then centre back, two wing backs, and then maybe if there's a bit of money left over, that's when you get the likes of a Zaniolo or a Maddison or someone of that ilk, just that gives you that little bit more attacking potency up front. Just somebody offers a little something we haven't got at the moment. If we got all of that in, this window becomes a stellar window. It really does. And then you could look at January to add on to it further. My God, we could be going places by then. But if we just stall and we don't fix this defence at the moment, we are still looking over our shoulders at teams below us instead of looking upwards where we should be.
Milenkovic would be some signing if we got him. That would be something else. And I see there's also another thing that's coming through, that Villarreal are very happy with the meeting they've had with Tottenham over Lo Celso. So that might be moving in the right direction as well.
Good. Great.
You hear that after a meeting with Spurs.
He must have been at it.
It makes them feel good. It's great. We'll touch on that in a minute. Jack, I have a serious rant to go on about the centre back. So I'm going to let you go first rather than make you wait. And I've loads of reasons why we need to improve that position. So Jack, be honest now, and you can disagree with me. Do you think I am making a big deal out of it, or do you look at that and say, no, we do have enough this season?
I mean, how could you really look at it and say that we do have enough if we're already getting rid of Tanganga and Rodon? I feel like we already knew that it probably wouldn't have been enough with Tanganga and Rodon, but at least there was that complication that we kind of saw them sticking around, or at least we saw Tanganga sticking around, at first. And I guess he would have been the other alternative, next to Sanchez, if we needed backup. And I think most Spurs fans would have been pretty uncomfortable with that, had Dyer or Romero received an injury of some sort. So we already knew that we needed another center back of real quality to be able to come in for either Dyer or Romero, or even compete with Dyer or Romero, as plenty of Spurs fans would like to say. But with Tanganga and Rodon leaving, Dave, I think there's really, I don't know if any Spurs fans would disagree with you. I mean, it's practically imperative at this stage with both of them leaving. And we need to be going for center backs that, I think, like Kuva said, that are probably more defensively sound, defensively solid, as well as kind of in the air, at least dominant and powerful than really anything else. Be good if they were like a ball playing center back. But what we're really missing at this moment is actually a commanding center back in the air, and a commanding center back when it comes to kind of like one-on-one challenges, when it comes to just being able to kind of stand their ground in the defense. So you really do look at it like the Indikas, the Badiashiles, I guess the Skriniars of the world. Those guys, that's what they have in their lockers. They're all kind of big, tall, intimidating center backs that, you really don't want to try to, loop a crossover. You really don't want to try to challenge them, at least in the physical sense. And I think we do need a center back like that. Absolutely, Dave.
100%. And we have a couple of super chats, which I will get to. But the reason why, for me, that we really need centre backs, and there's a number of reasons why. So just hear me out. I might take a minute. Look, first of all, and I said this yesterday, I'm going to keep saying it until it gets into people's heads, is that problem under Pochettino is we were still scoring goals. We couldn't keep them out. So they went and hired Jose Mourinho, the best defensive manager in world football. Could not keep any sort of cohesion with that defence under him. The defence also let Nuno down a lot of the times as well. And at times was letting Conte down massively. Now, people say we needed Cam. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that extra option in midfield, but it's not a necessity. At the end of the day, defence wins you leagues. And this defence has cost managers' their jobs time and time and time again over the last few years. And not only that, since Jose Mourinho come in, there's been a massive problems in this squad from set pieces, because before we had Toby and Alderweireld, Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, and they dealt with them expertly. But since then, we haven't done, and we're useless from set pieces, whether it's free kicks into our area, corners into our area. And you look at preseason, it's been happening all under Jose Mourinho, happened all last season, and still happening preseason. K-League 11, we're getting headers against us in the box. Sevilla were doing it. Rangers were doing it. We can't keep letting this happen. A lot of teams in the Premier League are going to end up punishing us. They're going to know that it's our weakness, and we still haven't solved that problem. Now, I will give the club credit. They've sort of solved the problem over at left-sided centre-back, where Ben Davies is great defensively, but then games against the low-block teams where you're looking for someone better on the ball, they brought in Langley. So that problem is solved. But the one at centre-back is still not solved. The only strides we've made since that Jose team to really improve this centre-back position is bringing in Romero and so far Langley, but we still don't know what we're going to get from him. That's still a risk. But we've only brought in Romero. Our defence, yes, they performed better under Antonio Conte, but especially Ben Davies, he went to Levy and got Nuno sacked. Dyer's come out in the press before, after Jose got sacked, after Nuno got sacked, and said things. And the thing is, these managers have once they were finished running their bollocks off under Pochettino, they let him down once our best defenders were going out of this squad. And our defence has been a problem for 2-3 years now. And defence wins you leagues. We need to shore that defence up. Yes, we had problems against Brighton and Brentford last season and other teams where we couldn't break them down. But they're the games where if Kane and Son aren't on form, and I mean, everybody can give them 1 or 2 games a season. Let's be realistic here. It's up to us to keep them teams out. And we have not been doing it. We've been crumbling, conceding. And for me, that's why we need a centre-back in here very, very badly. And the reason why I say that is because I have ambitions of winning the league. I have ambitions of winning the cup. And I do not see that happening if Dyer is still first choice centre back without having anyone to play competition. The fact that Davinson Sanchez barely plays and is still here. The fact that Dyer turned up for 1 season last season and is still here. Now, I'm not saying sell Dyer this summer, but bring in competition. The fact that Davies has had time to go from left back to left centre back shows we have not invested enough money in that position over the last 2-3 years. We spent 11 million on Joe Rodon to come here. I mean, seriously, it's not good enough. And that's why we need to improve that centre-back position. Rant over, you will not hear me mention it until someone pisses me off in the game.
Which will be in about, I think, an hour and 15's time, everybody. So don't you worry. John Stokes
two hours.
saying, evening, David, Shaq, best Spurs YouTube channel. Big up, my man. Really appreciate it, John.
Appreciate that, John.
Well. It's good to see you in the chat as
absolutely.
well.
There's a couple of things I'd say, David. In response to what you said there, David, a couple of things that are going to change from last season to this season. One, the midfield with Basuma in it is going to give more protection to the back four than we've probably got, right? From goals from play, not going about set pieces or whatever. And another thing too, we brought in a set piece specialist who is not just for attacking set pieces; he'll also be for defensive ones. So from that point of view, I do expect a big improvement over the next few matches. If that guy's worth his pay, be doing that and getting these guys to switch on at corners and free kicks and whatever. And I expected the heavy duty boys in the midfield to stop, to block off the flow that's getting at our defence when the ball's in play. So hopefully, I take your point. You're quite right in what you say. We will get another centre back, but I do expect it to be a lot tighter as the season progresses.
Yeah, look, I agree. There's a chance that they can improve, but where I'm coming from on that is, look, yes, he had a good 6 months Dyer in a Spurs jersey. Maybe a year. Maybe I'll give him a bit of credit for under Nuno. But what's to say he can't keep up with the Conte regime next season, or he gets an injury and we don't like Sanchez is the next one in there. He's god awful. I do agree. Hopefully, the set piece coach though can actually improve this defense. But what I am worried about is can he teach Dyer to have that hunger, to be the first one to that ball, to have that hunger to get there first before anybody else? I'm not sure on that. Yes, he can organize them better and put them better positionally, but can he make Dyer or even Romero's poor in the air? Can he make Romero want it more in the air? Can he make Langley or Davies want it more in the air? I'm not sure. Look, time will tell. Hopefully you're right, Philip, because if you are, it means we're going on to have success. So I hope you are right. I really do. Ben Kaufman, can you smell what the Kauf is brewing? 2 pronouns, Nikola Milenkovic. Look, not good, not great with his feet, but an absolute colossus in the air. Wins a lot of his aerial battles. We were linked with this guy under Jose Mourinho very, very heavily. At the time, the fee was rumored to be about 15 million. We didn't act on it. Will it happen this time? It might just happen because other targets may not be available. But look, he's good in the air, so get him in. That's what we need, really.
Big, tall, and strong. That's what you need.
Big, tall, and strong. Exactly. Big up, Benji. Really appreciate the support, my man. We've got Paul McHenry with the absolute big one. Big up, my man. Really appreciate the support. Says, have you ever known such anticipation for a new season? We'll be eagerly looking forward to your coverage in the new season, guys. Come on, you Spurs. But Paul McHenry, I mean, first of all, I really appreciate that. Look, we do try to cover everything across the season as best as we can. Now, look, we strive to be the best, but we're not the best. But hopefully we will get there. But Paul, hopefully we'll have you all season long. Hopefully you don't get too pissed off with my passionate rants or whatever else. Hopefully you can stick with us all season long. But Jack, I mean, Philip alluded to it earlier to a previous super chat from Brian. The anticipation coming into this new season. Are you excited? And where do you think that anticipation comes from?
It probably just comes from the fact that Spurs, for once, Dave, we're not really kidding ourselves, what we're probably predicting, us to, finish with. I think it's not too bold. It almost seems like any prediction a Spurs fan could make going into the season, Paul, isn't too bold. Like, you could make a convincing case that Spurs will challenge for the league. You can make a convincing case Spurs will end up with 2 trophies. You could make a convincing case Spurs might even go far in the Champions League. I feel like you have infinite choices for how this season's going to finish. And that's probably why, there's so much anticipation, whereas before, Spurs fans would be like, what, I feel like, we're going to nick a cup this year. That's what seems like, it's every Spurs fan's kind of mentality going into it. But we are, usually kind of kidding ourselves, or we know that it's a pretty, kind of, insurmountable task, or, something that it just looks, too beyond us. Whereas this year, Paul, it just feels like, we're going to be winning everything from the Champions League to what Kuva likes to say as well, American Idol. It just feels like the whole world is, our oyster, my man, Paul. So that's where the anticipation comes from.
Just quickly, there's a few people putting in some political stuff in the comments. We don't do politics here. We're here to talk about football. So if you can please refrain from putting in political stuff, because quite frankly, I'm here to talk football, nothing else. And that's, if you don't like it, nothing I can do, but that's what I'm here to do. I don't get involved in any of that stuff. Kuva, anticipation, where do you stand? Because I know you still want a bit of a better window, but do you actually have anticipation coming this season? Do you think we can actually do something special this season?
For me, yes, because I'm still anticipating movement in the transfer window. So I'm hoping for my 2 or 3 players coming in still. If that's the case, I'm just going to be going crazy from the start. I'm going to be dreaming about league titles and, quad all the way. Like you said earlier, I mean, let's believe we can win anything until we're actually physically out of it. It's the attitude I've always wanted for my team. You never just drop the chance of winning a trophy just to favour something else. I've always hated this attitude we've had. Even as fans, it seems to have caught on that some trophies aren't worth it because it's more important to get Champions League. No way, be greedy. You go for everything. If you fail when you go close at everything, I think it's a better season than just securing a top 4 and then letting things just slip by that you could have had a go at. So I'm really optimistic at the moment because I like the signings we've made so far. But for me, now is the time. It's Conte time. If we don't go the extra mile with this manager in charge, we're never going to do it. We might as well just pack up and give up. Just be one of the also rounds forever. Because this world-class manager, you've got to take the opportunity. This whole idea of the £150 million in cash injection to help with, give us more financial flexibility, both on and off the pitch. So far, we haven't made much inroads into that money, have we? So you've got to imagine there's a big chunk there for some decent transfers left. I want to see it. It's all part of the anticipation for the season. anticipation for the rest of the transfer window, first few games of the season, all overlapping, could be a really exciting period. I wish we'd got more players in before the season starts, but can't always do that, I suppose. We might have to wait for a couple, but if we do get them in, let's go. This will be. There's only one time in my life where I felt we were going to win the league, and that's when we were chasing Leicester. And there was a time when we went away to Stoke, one midweek match, and we won 4-0. We weren't even playing that well. We just obliterated them.
Yeah.
I suddenly thought, you know what? We can do this. I want that feeling back again. I feel like we're on the verge of doing something like that, but it's just not quite there yet. Let's not mess this up. I want this anticipation to turn into something this season.
I hope so. And look, even if we can get close this season and then next summer we have very little to do business-wise and we'll be able to push it over the line, hopefully. But Paul McHenry, really appreciate the support, my man. Big yourself up. What a legend. And guys, I've put people in timeout. Anyone that puts anything political in, I'm just warning you now, you're going into timeout. So please do not do it. And I'm doing my best to moderate it. Look, we're here to talk football. No one wants to talk about politics or anything like that. If we did, I'd start up a political channel, but I didn't. I started up Tottenham Hotspur channel. Moist Under
Crackers.
Absolutely love that name. New YouTube member. Absolutely love that. Moist Under Crackers. Soggy Pants, aka Soggy Pants. Big up, my man.
Spurs fan for a while.
Says, been watching the channel for a little while now. Love the chat. Just a little something to show my support to the fellas. Big up, my man. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Top man. And look, hopefully we get to see you on fan shows as well every Monday and Friday, my man. Big yourself up. Absolutely love that. And then Davinson, the defender, says Sanchez is good when he plays for my country, but I understand your frustration. Thank you very much, my man. And Ellie says, at least we don't have to argue over it. That's good. And Ellie says, love the Irish Hotspur. Why, oh, why, I hear you say, because these lads are truly won my heart. Really appreciate that, Ellie. You're too kind. A long time follower of the channel. Big yourself up, my dear. Everybody, we're going to have maybe a couple more questions, and then I do have to end off because I have to be somewhere else for another hour over on We Are Tottenham TV. Basically, just kind of doing the same thing, guys. If you want to get over there, you can. But all I do ask is, if you can smash that like button before you leave, smash that subscribe button as well. It'd be absolutely awesome. It really helps the channel. We're hoping to get to about 250 likes. That would be great. And feel free to get your super chats in, guys, with any questions or thoughts you may have for the panel before we do end off. Now, I do want to touch briefly on this. I'm so far behind my questions today. But look, what I do want to, and one I will definitely get into is, and we'll start with Kuva on this one. Kuva, at Tottenham, is Conte picking up the pieces after Jose or finishing off Jose's job?
Picking up the pieces, definitely. This is not the same. It's not the same style of play at all. We already picked on just fitness alone. Josie was happy to sit back, maintain a shape, go for the plan. Conte wants in your face sort of aggressive play. A very different sort of style for me. A lot more attacking phases to the game under Conte, I think, than under Mourinho. It was very much counter-attacking. Conte, I think, tends to mix it up a little bit. There's times where he'll sit back and realise the other teams, got a superior team, if you like say City, which we don't like to say they're superior, but they obviously are. But we found a way to beat them. That's what both managers are good at doing. They find the way. So I think it's a contrast in styles, and I don't think they're compatible. I think this was the start of a rebuild this summer. We're always saying rebuild, but it really is this time because it's getting the players to fit exactly what this manager wants. We've got some of them, which is fantastic. We got some of them early. Pity about some of the injuries, otherwise they could have been hitting the ground running for the first league match. But it's looking promising. But no, it's definitely picking up the pieces. We were broken.
And 100%. And Philip, do you think though that maybe Conte has vindicated Mourinho on some of his decisions that Spurs fans got on his back about, the likes of Ndombele, Lo Celso, Winks, people like that. Do you think maybe he's been vindicated a bit by Conte because Conte's also kind of got rid of them sort of players?
Yeah, from that point of view, yes. But like as regards further on to Kuva's answer there, I totally agree with him. Yeah. Picking up the pieces is an understatement. I mean, we're talking chalk and cheese here, really, and you can't eat chalk. But Mourinho, to me, I was very excited when he came in, and that excitement soon diluted to disappointment because he's very much yesterday's man, as far as I'm concerned. Whereas Conte. Okay, he's had to pick up the pieces regarding to Nuno as well. Liverpool just scored, by the way, in the Champions Charity Shield. Yeah, 1-0. So, he's picking up the pieces. He has been vindicated by leaving out Ndombele and Wink. But let's face it, a blind man could have seen that they weren't fitting the bill. So, he's only if he was on Mastermind, the subject would be the bloody obvious. That those players were not good enough for Tottenham, and Mourinho spotted it, and Conte probably knew before he even came to the club. So he had his mind made up before he even got there. So yes, he is vindicated on that point. He's not vindicated for the style of football that he has and the man management that he had, the lack of fitness, the lack of training intensity, the I don't know what else I can slag him over, but certainly they are chalk and cheese to me. And I don't eat cheese, but rather than chalk.
And Philip, do you think maybe the club have learned a few lessons? Because the reason why I say that is you look at the 7 players we brought in under Jose Mourinho at that time compared to the 6 players we've already brought in this summer. There's a distinct difference in quality of the players that we've targeted and brought in here. So do you think the club have also learned their lessons from that Jose time? But actually, if you get someone in like a Conte, you've got to back them properly. Yeah.
I mean, I think Levy brought in Mourinho thinking that, okay, this guy's won everything everywhere else. And ironically, has continued to do so with Roma, which is, quite ironic. But I mean, they've learned from mistakes. They know now that they've moved up a grade with Conte, moved up 2 grades maybe. And that's the fact that Conte has got Levy to buy players early in the transfer window, which never happened before or never happened at all in 3 seasons. 3 pre-seasons or 3 transfer windows, and we didn't buy any players. That was at the time that Tottenham really got into the doldrums. We weren't replacing players, we were just making do with what we've got. That's not the way under Conte. If we hadn't replaced those players this season, Conte would have walked. We would have another manager in place now at this moment in time. So from that point of view, he's changed the entire mindset. He's changed.
I agree.
He's changed the complete outlook in the club, and that can only be for the good.
Yeah,
and it's. The fact that he's such a strong-minded character, it takes courage to take on someone like Daniel Levy. He's taken them on and he's beaten them into a corner.
Yeah, 100%. I actually could not agree more with that. And Jack, yourself, I mean, what's your thoughts on everything here? Conte picking up the pieces or just finishing off Jose's job?
I feel like he is, I don't know. I feel like Dave, like with what Conte was able to sort of, maybe build, with Spurs, there are certain things that, have been taken with, you have to give Jose credit for the fact that Harry Kane dropping deep to receive the ball and, spray, Son and behind was kind of Jose's sort, I don't know if you would call it invention, but, kind of like his sort of, bread and butter with that team. We've seen, kind of Conte, he likes Harry Kane to sit up a bit higher. But ever since then, like people have realized that about Harry Kane. Like, wait a minute, not only is this guy one of the best strikers in world football, he's also one of the best passers in world football as well. So maybe we should take advantage of that. So I must say there are some things that Jose did do to this team, or at least showed that this team is capable of. He did show that you can win games basically entirely off of Son and Kane alone. Like, you just can build a strong enough defense. You can rely on those guys just to get you the goals and be able to kind of, come out with a 2-0 win, whatever it was, that he used to, love, a 2-0 win with, Son and Kane, sort of scoring. So there are a lot of things that I think Jose did sort of build with this squad, but Conte coming in, it's just an entirely different beast. A lot of the problems that we did have, under the Jose era were still kind of created by Jose. As much as I am a bit of a kind of a Mourinho kind of fan, as much as I do like Jose, I do feel like, a lot of the problems were self-created by him, whereas, Conte has come in and fixed a lot of those issues. And maybe even Conte as well has also demanded a bit more respect than maybe Jose did. Jose is a bit of kind of a complainer where he'll kind of maybe say that everything's okay. And then once things start going wrong, he'll, pretend as if he was never okay with it, from the get-go. And whereas, Conte, I think, makes his, kind of his, intentions clear, from the beginning. Whereas maybe Jose is a bit, kind of, confusing that way and doesn't exactly, express what he truly feels, maybe to Daniel Levy. So there are a lot of things that I feel like, Conte has been doing that Jose Mourinho probably could have maybe done himself, and he probably would have done a bit better at Spurs.
I think it comes to a simple
100%.
case for me that with Jose, either the players buy into the way he manages, or he's going to be out of the club. There's no in between. There's no give with him. It's either you're one of his troops, or there's a complete failure, isn't there? It's we've seen that regularly, even at Chelsea. Win for a while, then when it does break down, catastrophic, off he goes. He's a very abrasive sort of manager, and he gets results doing it in the long run. So, unfortunately, we got the downturn, didn't we?
We did. But what I will say is he did expose a lot of what was going on about some of the players, the toxicity, the mentality being weak, and that the club needs a better mentality. And I'm kind of happy for that in a way, because it's almost made us get, make sure we back Conte and have a different sort of mentality. But he does create a lot of his own problems. And look, hopefully Conte can show him that he's changing in the game and not just kind of finishing off the job. Adrian Chia says, big up, lads. Great optimism before the season starts. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, look, there's no point in going into the season going, Spurs aren't going to do this, Spurs aren't going to do that. It doesn't, what's the point of giving yourself low expectations going into the season, You've always got to have that optimism, because if you can't enjoy the first game of the season, you're not going to enjoy the rest of the season. So at least, have the optimism for the first game, at least. Big up, Adrian Chia. Really appreciate the support. Guys, don't worry, we are monitoring the chat as best as we can. I presume this is going to go on all day across all channels, but we are on it. Don't worry about that. And Ellie says, support my lads, David and Jack. You are the greatest. Really appreciate that, Ellie. You're too kind with the big one as well. Big yourself up, Ellie. Really, really do appreciate it. And everybody do check out Ellie's evolved over there with THFC Till I Die. So do get over there and show her your support as well. Big up, Ellie. Big up, really Ellie. Appreciate it. But look, guys, maybe we'll what I'll do is I'll ask you a question each on Harry Kane, and then you can plug your channel after you've given the answer, and then we will end off, because I do have to get over to our Tottenham TV. And look, Jack, we'll start we'll start with you. Every time Harry Kane and Sonny have played in the pre-season, they've made it look easy, whereas other players are still getting in the groove of things. Do you think they're capable of hitting the same levels they did last season, or maybe Kane's case the season before?
Well, I mean, Harry Kane didn't start playing till November this last season. When you think about it, really. He only scored a couple of goals before Conte came in. So, yeah, I think Harry Kane absolutely looks an absolute beast at the moment. Physically, I've never seen him in such condition. So, and Son, Son is looking very sharp in pre-season. I'm expecting them to hit the ground running. There's no reason why they won't. Those two guys are class. They're world-class, and world-class players do what world-class players do. Score goals, make goals for each other. And they are going to be, along with Kulusevski, an absolute thorn in the side of a lot of teams next season. Starting with Southampton, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do hope so. Philip, anything you want to plug, my man?
No, well, I'm be contributing to THFC Till I Die as well as been on here. So, they're the two channels. They're the only two I really go on to. So, you'd be sick of the sight looking at me when the season's over. But enjoy it. And I think, we've all got the one ambition: Spurs to be successful, Spurs to win trophies, and all I want is smiling faces every Saturday and Sunday evening after we win. I don't want any losses, any negativity. We're Tottenham fans. We've put up with a lot in the past. We deserve something better, and we're going to get it this season.
No, I love that. Absolutely love that. Big yourself up, Philip, and you will. Look, people love listening to you, Philip. They nicknamed you the Godfather for the reason, my man. Kuva, same question to you about Kane and Son. And plug what you need to plug today, my man.
Oh, sorry, I lost the question on Kane and Son.
Oh, so do you think basically Son can reach the heights he reached last season, and Kane maybe the heights he reached the season before, with the two of them looking far superior than anybody else pre-season?
Sonny's not going to dip in form, but I think Kane will have a better season than last season. because although he ended up playing well, he had a very shaky start.
Yeah, like half a season.
Yeah. So I think Kane is going to be he's going to be on the ball. We're winning stuff this season. I'm fed up of the no, we can't. I'm just going, yes, we can. We're going to. So I've got my £5 on the quad, and it remains intact until we start going out of competitions. Let's see if that's what lasts well into February, March time. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
Otherwise, bigging up Bob Spur TV tonight. So I'll be hosting with good friend Mr. Kaufman from the coffee company, and we're just doing the end of the week sort of wind down, the usual fun and games. Before that, over on Sean Butler's Tottenham Spurs talk show, all one word, just doing the watch along as your complete rival. No, it's just a bit of fun on the watch-alongs, isn't it? So
Sean's not a rival. Sean's not a rival at all, my man. Me and Sean do get on. We speak on the phone nearly every 2 or 3 days. We always get on. So there you are, guys. Get over and check them out. The links are in the chat there. And Jack, last but not least, my man, I mean, can Kane and Son reach the heights of previous seasons? And what you plugging the flat cap, my man?
They definitely are, Dave. I think Sonny... Actually, golden boot. Can he repeat a golden boot run? That would be sensational. That would be, I don't know how many, even Harry Kane couldn't even repeat, a golden boot run, the following season. So we'll see if he can. Sonny, could he get 20 goals? Definitely. Will that be enough to get a golden boot? I'm not sure. But him getting 20 goals again would be ridiculous, because we have to remember it was all non-penalty goals, as well, whereas Salah did have the benefit of penalty goals to add to his, to his stats. Harry Kane, like Kuva said, obviously going to have, just a better season, because he really only played half a season last one. And then Ellie, Dave, was coming in with a member super chat of 7 months as an elite member. And she's saying, we're all THFC till I die. We truly are. And Harris Army troops, we are all till we die too. Big up, Ellie. Absolutely. Big up. And Dave celebrating 7 months as an elite member for her. And she's saying THFC till I die. That happens to be a channel, that she's representing as well. Big up, Ellie.
And she's absolutely loving it as well. It is great to see. It's great to see. Do you know, I was actually watching the West Ham blog that we done the other day. With my sister was there. And my sister goes, she's your rival now for most passionate fans. So me and Ellie are now rivals. We're locked in horns, so we are. Big up, Ellie. Absolutely love it. Jack, did you plug Flat Cap?
Let me plug it in. I would just say, everybody, David and I's, Premier League predictions coming out next week. Also, Darius, Kieran's and I's top 6 predictions for all of Europe's top 5 leagues also coming out next week. I would say big shows coming up and big pre-records coming up for Flat Cap. Lots of prediction-related stuff, so definitely get ready.
100%. And, guys, you can catch us back here at 6:45 for the watch-along. You can join us. It'd be great to have every single one of you. And while until we get to the watch-along, guys, come back in, let us know. Do you want myself and Jack to set up a fantasy football league for everybody going into this season? Do let us know if there's enough support behind it. I know John wants one. So if there's enough support behind it, guys, we'll do it for you guys. Not a problem. And Ellie says, down payment for the plug of THFC till I die. Thanks, David and Jack. Come on, you Spurs. Ellie, no down payment needed whatsoever.
We're going to have to do an extra one, Dave. We're going to have to do an extra one then. We're going to have to do an extra one. Ellie, everybody, if you love Ellie, if you love Philip, if you love Dermot, if you love the regulars of the Harris Army, go over to THFC till I die. Big up, Ellie.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put it in the chat. That's what I warrant. Big up, Ellie. Honestly, though, never, ever any need. We always plug people's channels and big them up wherever we can, Ellie. So never, ever any need to do that. But I really do appreciate that, my dear. Just grabbing the link here and I'm going to put it in the comments. But, guys, I'm heading over to We Are Tottenham TV now. So I'll see you all over there. And until then, guys, stay safe. And see you all back here at 6:45. And you can watch my happy face as we go and beat Roma and Big H scores and we lift another cup. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.